You know, most of us never give our blood type a second thought. But what if a common biological trait, one that's flowing through the veins of millions of people, is actually the key to a forbidden chapter of human history? A story that's been hidden in plain sight, right inside our own DNA.
So let's just get right to it and ask the big question. Is it possible that your blood isn't entirely from this world? According to some pretty ancient texts and, well, some fascinating modern theories, this isn't just a biological quirk. It's a clue to our secret origins.
Okay, so our journey starts with what's really a genuine scientific puzzle. It's called the rhesus-negative anomaly. And honestly, it's a true biological mystery that really challenges our standard understanding of human evolution.
And this isn't some tiny little thing we're talking about. The scale is, well, it's huge. We are talking about 15% of all people on Earth. This is not some fringe group. We're talking hundreds of millions of individuals who all share this very unique biological marker. So what this really boils down to is that this isn't just, another blood type. The theories we're going to dive into frame the Rh-negative factor as a kind of biological calling card, a stubborn clue that mainstream science just hasn't been able to fully explain. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. This is the core of the whole thing. See, about 85% of us are Rh positive. That means our blood has a specific protein that's also found in rhesus monkeys. It totally supports the standard theory of primate evolution. But Rh-negative people, they just don't have this protein at all. It's like a key piece of our shared evolutionary puzzle is just gone. So that really leaves us with one massive question, doesn't it? If most of humanity shares this clear genetic link with our primate ancestors, then where in the world did this other bloodline come from? And to even begin to find an answer, we have to step outside the lab and dive into some really old, even forbidden texts for clues about something called the blood of the Watchers. Okay, so take the Book of Enoch, for instance. This is a text that's, let's just say, too controversial for a lot of traditional scriptures. It tells a story that our evolutionary path was interrupted. It describes these powerful celestial beings, the Watchers, who came down from the heavens and, well, they started families with human women. And the children that came from these forbidden unions? Well, they were known as the Nephilim. And they weren't just human. They were described as hybrids, this incredible fusion of divine and human DNA that created these legendary giants who walked the earth. So the theory here, when you break it down, is actually pretty straightforward. But wow, is it radical. If these Watchers had a DNA structure that was completely alien to anything from Earth, their hybrid children would carry that genetic signature. And poof, you've got the Rh-negative bloodline that's still around today. But hold on, because the Watchers aren't the only game in town when it comes to potential origins. Another ancient culture, the Sumerians, they give us a different but just as mind-blowing explanation. Anunnaki genetic engineering. If you look at Sumerian texts, and we're talking about some of the oldest writings on the planet, they tell stories of these gods called the Anunnaki, but they weren't just gods to be worshipped. No, they were described as master geneticists who literally engineered the human race, upgrading our primitive ancestors. And according to these theories, this engineered bloodline came of some pretty specific traits. The sources often connect Rh-negative people with claims of having higher IQs, lower body temperatures, and even heightened intuition or psychic abilities. All things that might just point to a non-earthly origin. Okay, but wait. If these incredible hybrid bloodlines really existed, there's a huge problem. A cataclysmic event should have just wiped them all out. So how could this unique DNA possibly make it through what a lot of people call the Great Reset? I mean, almost every single ancient culture on Earth has a story about a great flood, right? And according to these texts, this wasn't just some random weather event. It was a deliberate cleansing. A reset designed specifically to get rid of the so-called corrupted DNA of these hybrid beings. And yet, here we are. The anomaly is still here. That Rh-negative factor is still with us. Against all the odds, the bloodline survived. Which brings up the most obvious question in the world. How? How could this supposedly alien DNA get through a global cataclysm that was designed to erase it? Well, there are a few pretty wild theories out there. Maybe the genetic code was carried on the Ark, hidden in the DNA of the wives of Noah's sons. Or maybe some of these beings survived by taking refuge in massive underground networks. There's even a theory that they didn't just survive, they thrived,
becoming the blue-blooded royal families who secretly ruled the world after the flood.
And this is where it all circles back, right to today. And maybe, just maybe, right back to you. We're not just talking about ancient history anymore. We're talking about a secret that could be flowing through your very own veins right now.
I mean, just think about that for a second. If you're one of that 15% with Rh-negative blood, these theories are suggesting you're not just some random evolutionary blip. You could be the living, breathing proof of a lost chapter in our history, a walking connection to a ghost civilization.
And if that's true, it means who you are is so much bigger, so much more epic than you've ever been led to believe. You might not just be a product of evolution, but an active player in a cosmic story that's been buried for thousands of years.
So, you see, this whole Rh-negative mystery isn't just some dusty old story. It's about who we are, right now, and who we might discover ourselves to be. The truth, according to this theory, is literally flowing inside you. So the only real question left is, are you ready to find it?